everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this content marketing plan and guide, you're going to be learning how to craft your own content marketing plan to sell your products and services. And when you stick around to the end, I'll be sharing with you the #1 content marketing mistake I see a lot of our new clients making that can lead to zero sales. So make sure you stick around for that. Timestamp table of contents in the description to skip around this video, along with some other helpful links and playlists that I'll be talking about throughout this tutorial. So before we dive into those 5 steps, let's define what the heck content marketing is so that we're all on the same page for creating your plan. Now, content marketing is a process to educate potential customers to see the value in the product or service that you provide. Now, the key word here is see the value. We'll get more into that in step #1, but content in and of itself has to be valuable because content marketing is not sales. Content is value, not sales. I can't stress that enough. That's not the big mistake. I'll get to the big mistake later, but really, content is value, and this works for any medium. So if you're going to be doing blogging, you're going to be doing videos, or you're going to be doing a podcast, whatever medium you decide, this content marketing plan is going to be helpful to you in making sure that your content is valuable and actually helps pre-sell your product or service. And speaking of your product or service, that's what we're going to start in step #1 with the big problem. So your product or service solves a problem or a series of problems for your ideal customer. If you don't have an ideal customer profile, link in the description to a video all about how to craft your perfect customer avatar. But we won't dive into that here. We'll just take a look at the problems that your product or service solves. So you want to write down 3 to 4 problems that your product or service solves. And this helps us understand where someone needs to be in order to see the value in what you offer. After all, someone who doesn't have the problems that your product or service solves isn't going to see value in your product or service and isn't going to buy it. So we need to know what our customers care about or what they're looking to achieve as a result of purchasing our product or service. So that's step #1. Step #2 is taking a look at the experience level or where our ideal customer is potentially on the journey of being at that point where they can purchase your product or service. Now, I'm going to go through an example because I don't want to keep it too pie in the sky here, but bear with me. Of all the potential customers you could target, every single one of them is at a different place or different experience level or is struggling with different things. So we want to make sure we're very clear on what problems need to be solved before they purchase our product or service and how long they've been on this journey. After all, someone who's been trying to lose weight for 3 years is a very different customer than someone who's been trying to lose weight for 3 weeks or 3 months, right? They each have a different level and set of experiences. And so if we keep that in mind, we'll make sure that we don't make content that's too easy or basic, and we don't make content that's too advanced. So let's go through a concrete example because I know we're a little pie in the sky here. So take a look at this diagram and we'll walk through how to figure out your customer's experience level. So in this example, we'll be doing a YouTube course, and the problems that small YouTubers have is low views, low subscriber growth, and no ranked videos. So the second part of this is figuring out where they are in the process. If we want clients who are brand new, then a piece of content titled "How to Rank Your First YouTube Video" is going to make a whole lot of sense. But this isn't going to appeal to someone who's been on YouTube for 6 months and is struggling to rank their videos. So for that particular person, we'd want to make a video titled "How to Re-Rank Your Fallen Videos" or "How to Improve Your Ranked Videos." This would make a lot more sense for someone who's been 6 months down the road because they've already tried to rank their first video. And then finally, for someone who's over a year old, maybe a piece of content on how to rank playlists or how to rank videos that are over 6 months or a year old would make sense. What's important here is you're figuring out where you can meet your ideal customer where they are. In this particular example, we talked about someone who's brand new to YouTube, we talked about someone who's been on YouTube for 6 months, and we talked about someone who's been on YouTube for a year or more. All 3 of those people are different people who would require a different piece of content in order to move them towards buying a service or product around growing their YouTube channel. Now, what's very important here is content marketing is not about convincing people. I think that's a big mistake a lot of new marketers make. Content marketing is about meeting someone where they are and helping them along that path to be in a good position to purchase your product or service. It's not about convincing people that your way is the right way. So a really simple example of this is if you were selling a vegan cookbook, you're not going to go target a bunch of people who are into paleo or meat eaters and try and convince them that vegan is the way to go. You would market to people who already believe believe that vegan is the right way to eat and sell the cookbook to them. Because one of the fastest ways to get a lot of hate and burn a lot of ad dollars if you wind up promoting your content is promoting it to the wrong audience. You're not trying to create a new audience. You're trying to find where your customers already are and meet them where they are and then help fill some content gaps. And speaking of content gaps, that is step number 3 to our process, making sure that our content is a full package of value so that it can provide an aha moment to our potential customers. And that's really what we're trying to do, because we don't just want to rehash the same content that they've seen elsewhere. We want to twist it in a way where we can speak to them in a fashion that they're not used to, they haven't seen before. We want to be able to dive deeper into why they care about the particular subject or a question that they have and speak to them in a way that no one else has done before. And there's 3 simple questions to ask yourself when creating content, and it all starts with a question. This content frame is vital to making awesome, valuable content for whatever medium you're going after. So let's go through that right now. So it all starts with a big question or user intent. We want to know what questions are they asking. And of course, when we talked about experience level and the roadblocks they might be facing, this is going to be really helpful. So we're going to stick with our YouTube example. For our example here, we're going to be asking the question, how do I get more views to my videos? This is what the potential customer is asking. Now, this is a common question new YouTubers ask, and we have to take it a few steps further in order to speak to them on a level nobody else is. So what we need to do is think about, why does a YouTuber want more views? Because just getting views for the sake of views isn't really all that important to them. There's a reason that someone who is trying to grow a YouTube channel wants views. Well, take it a step further and say, okay, why is this so important? What's the result that they're ultimately after? Where someone who wants views, they don't want views. They actually want to grow their channel. They want more subscribers, right? Now, I know this seems super basic, but you'll see how this all ties in together in the end. So stick with me here. Now, this is as deep as you need to go with this second question. If we were doing sales copy, we'd go a level deeper and say, okay, why is having a YouTube channel so important to them? That gets into sales copy stuff we don't have to worry about for our content. So the third and final part is, what is their perceived roadblock? So we've asked the big question, what is the big content gap that we're trying to fill for them? That's their question. Then we're saying, why is it actually important to them? What are they actually trying to achieve as a result of getting that question answered? And now, what do they think? Not what you think. What do they think is in the way of getting that result that they want? And in most instances, for our example here, it's going to be, oh, I have a small channel, I don't have an advertising budget, or I can't compete with larger channels in my niche. Okay, great. Now, not only do we have a solid understanding of what the main question that we need to answer for our content is, we also understand some of the emotions behind it, and so we can actually speak to those emotions and be able to differentiate ourselves and show that we actually understand why this is so important to them. So here's an example of how we tie this all together. So for the title of our piece of content, it could go something like this: how to get more views as a small channel, and then in parentheses, if you're under 500 subs, or under 500 subs growth guide. And then in this particular instance, I'll just do it for video. I would say something like, in this video, you're going to learn a video ranking strategy that allows you to compete with larger channels on YouTube, even if you have less than 500 subscribers. Now, just saying, hey, in this video, you're going to learn how to rank your videos, and here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's great. They want to learn how to rank, but if you take it a step further and say, this will allow you to compete with larger channels, even if your channel's really small, or even if you don't have an advertising budget, this is a perfect alternative strategy. All 3 of those are speaking to why they're interested in ranking videos, and all of a sudden, you've been able to connect with them beyond just being the person that's telling them list A, B, C, D on how to do something. And with that, you're ready to create your content. Now, step number 4 to crafting a great content marketing plan and making great content is a soft call to action. This is very important when creating content. You want to write the content first, go through the content frame, and then after your content's all written, and if you're doing video, if you have your video outlined or script, then add your call to action for a lead magnet or a sales call. So here's 2 examples of how you could do this. Number 1, if you want to learn more, you can check out our YouTube growth webinar here. or sound like too much work, book a free strategy call and have us do the heavy lifting for you. So both of the calls to action should be to a free offer. You shouldn't be directly going to a sale. There needs to be a buffer there because you need to continue to warm up that ideal customer. So the key takeaway here is to make sure that all your calls to action are to a free offer that is on the path to purchasing your product or service. Now, the final step to crafting an awesome content marketing plan, step number 5, is actually planning it out. And this is something that I have struggled with personally myself, and so I want to give you a couple of insights after posting over 400 YouTube videos, and that is you want to batch your planning. Now, irrespective of what medium you choose for your content marketing, you need to be posting at least 3 times a week. You have to be consistent with your content marketing in order for it to be successful long term. And the best way to plan your content is to batch order it. So you're going to want to plan out all of your content for the month. And this is really important because it allows you during the month to just put your head down and focus on creating awesome content as opposed to having that anxiety of, oh, I don't know what type of content to make next. And trust me, after posting 400 videos to this channel, planning out ahead of time is going to save you a lot of headache and help you create a lot more content faster. So thank you so much for watching. If you're getting some value out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button because now it's time for the big mistake a lot of new content marketers make. And this is holding back the golden nuggets. Look, if you need your content to be valuable, it can't be disingenuous. Disingenuous content is something that your ideal customers can see a mile away. You might be thinking you're clever by holding something back or not adding a particular key part, but those people who actually care about the topic that you're talking about, those people who are actually looking to buy, are going to notice if you purposely hold back information. Now, if you feel like you can't make a piece of content without giving away some trade secret, then just don't make that piece of content or don't talk about that subject. Or what you can do is you can always go down the experience level. So if you don't want to reveal information that would be valuable to someone who's a year or 2 years into whatever they're doing, then you can just make basic content because there is in whatever marketplace or niche, your topics you're talking about, there's a set of information that pretty much everybody but newbies know. So you can just focus on the newbie content if you're really concerned about giving away a trade secret. But for the most part, there's no harm in giving away the golden nuggets of whatever topic you're talking about because those DIY people, those people who are just looking to do everything themselves, they aren't your ideal customer. So you don't have to worry about them taking your information and doing it themselves, not purchasing your course or not purchasing your coaching because your ideal customer wants to purchase a course. They want to purchase consulting or services. So you don't have to worry about those DIY people. I think that's the number one mistake I see with new content marketers. They want to hold back the golden nuggets because they're afraid of those 5 or 6 people who are actually going to take all the information and run with it and never do business because those people aren't looking to buy anything anyway. The people who are looking to buy are trying to educate themselves so they can make a buying decision, and that's all your content is designed to do. So you found this video informative and actionable, and you have a good sense of what you can do to create your own content marketing plan. Comment below if you have any questions, and of course, hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth content marketing tutorials and tactics just like the ones covered in this video. And until next time, keep building the business you love.